Mystery-Connecticut River, he had never seen anything particularly interesting. In the spring of 1894, that would change. While near a bridge that crossed the river, he heard a grunt, followed by a splash. I looked into the river, and no more than 25 feet away, I saw a big snake, claimed Austin. Its head was out of the water, and its body raised some 6 or 7 feet. At the neck, the snake was about as large as an ordinary man's leg at the thigh, and the body was as large as an ordinary stovepipe.
So there are at least 2 reports from the 1800s of the sea creature, and I'm sure there's been many, many more since. But as you guys know, that music means we have to go ahead and take a network break right here. So I'm going to go put my grandbabies in bed, and I'll be right back after these messages for the second half of the Darkwolfs Den Show. Tell everybody bye, Bubby.
Bye.
You guys stick around. We'll be right back.
We got to stoke the fires and run off the men in black. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Ow. That's right. That howl means your weekend has begun. Hi, everyone. It's AJ, the Rippin' Rabbit. Are you enjoying the Darkwolfs Den Radio Show? I know I am. If you are and you haven't done so already, please make sure to thumb up that video, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell. You'll get our notifications every time we go live. We're here every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights, bringing you the very best of common sense radio, the Rippin' Rabbit Hole. Jerry Hicks and the Darkwolfs Den Show will return again tomorrow night. That's right. He's going to give us a laydown of an unusual story, his story, an incredible journey as he moved from one den to another. It's going to take place tomorrow night, Thursday, August 12th. Starts at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, as all shows do. Come along with Jerry as he howls at his incredible journey. I'm going to say my top hat's off to you, bud. It's great to have you back. I'm super excited, and I can't wait to hear tomorrow night. Then I'll return on Friday. We're going to look at the flying spaghetti monster. That's right. Come along with me and dive down the rabbit hole of the flying spaghetti monster. It's going to be quite the journey, that's to say the least. Friday, August 13th. Then Saturday night, come along with me as we deal with contradiction. There seems to be contradiction here, there, almost everywhere in 2021. We're going to take a look at ways that we can identify the right solutions to contradiction, as well as how to breathe through a contradictive moment. That's going to be Saturday, August 14th, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central. Then we'll end out the weekend right together with you. Sunday night, August 15th, a special look at misdirection from a magician's point of view. I'll be sharing with you, without breaking the code, some of the secrets, the subtle secrets that are being used against us today to usher in a completely new form of distraction or misdirection. I'll teach you how to keep your eye on the hand that's really doing the work. Do you believe that the hand is quicker than the eye? Find out with me as we end out the weekend right together with you. Sunday night, August 15th. Can you believe it? An extended weekend finally here in August. Oh, it feels so good to have Jerry back and have these weekends kick off on a Wednesday night. We'll return back now to his State of Mystery for Connecticut. Tonight's Wednesday, August 11th, 2021. You're listening to the Rippin' Common Sense Radio Network, the Rippin' Rabbit Hole. Put 100s in the chat room if you're as happy as I am to have Jerry back.
Reestablishing multiverse connection. connection reestablished and secure.
This is My Life DIY, and
Hi, this is JoJo.
Hi, my name is Ash.
Hey everybody, it's AJ the Rippin' Rabbit.
This is Cynthia Sue Larson.
This is your man Meta, aka Propagate This Light.
And you're now listening
to Darkwolfs Den.
The Darkwolfs Den Show on Rippin' Common Sense Radio.
If you were meant to be controlled, you would have come with a remote, but you didn't. And that's why you listen to the Darkwolfs Den Show. Now, here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
That's right, I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and welcome back to the second half of the Darkwolfs Den Show for Wednesday, August 11th, 2021. So whether you're on the edge of reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, we are going over the State of Mystery series, and tonight's state is, of course, the state of Connecticut. That's right. And in the first half, we talked about all the cryptids of Connecticut, at least all the ones that I could find anyway. I'm sure there's quite a few that I missed. We don't have a whole lot of UFO crazy reports coming out of Connecticut this time, but we do have a load of ghost stories.
Fairfield Hills Hospital. Fairfield Hills Hospital in Newton opened its doors in 1931 and is surrounded by the sort of spooky legends that make it perfect for starting off this countdown. During its early stint as a psychiatric hospital, it was known for abusing and neglecting patients, and staff and patient numbers steadily declined until it closed for good in 1995.
And we all know the trauma found within a lot of these psychiatric wards, especially back in the older days, is prime territory for hauntings.
Those brave enough to explore these old halls, especially at night, report odd sounds coming from empty rooms, doors opening and closing on their own, and extreme cold spots. The most commonly seen apparition on site is the white, misty form of a woman who appears to those who are scared, though others have reported ghostly doctors and malnourished-looking patients stalking the grounds from time to time.
And again, with all the trauma going on in a psychiatric ward, this is not a surprise. What is surprising is the amount of doctors and nurses that we find in these stories. That does intrigue me a little bit.
Union Cemetery. Union Cemetery in Easton dates back to the 1700s and is rumored to be one of the most haunted cemeteries in the country. It gained so much notoriety for its hauntings that it caught the attention of well-known paranormal researchers Ed and Lorraine Warren, who even wrote a book about it, titled simply Graveyard. Visitors and staff have reported a wide range of happenings on site, including orbs in photographs, strange mists on clear nights, and issues with electronics and starting vehicles while trying to leave. The most famous ghost here is that of the White Lady, a ghostly woman in a glowing white gown. She's been sighted numerous times in and nearby the cemetery along Stepney Road, with several witnesses even reporting hitting her with their car. More disturbingly, a pair of red glowing eyes have been sighted peering through the darkness at any who enter at night.
The red eyes sound a little bit demonic, but aside from that, there's a lot of white lady stories that I've seen, case files that I've seen. I wonder if it isn't a sign or a symbol in the spirit world, the white lady, maybe a karmic sign, I'm not sure, but it's interesting that these show up in so very many cases.
The Palace and Majestic Theaters. The Palace and Majestic Theaters in Bridgeport were built in 1922 and later abandoned in the 1970s. This 13-acre complex is surrounded by quite a few local legends, and there have been many theories as to who or what haunts its old halls. Native American artifacts were discovered during construction, and throughout the years there have been several murders and other violent crimes on the premises. Those brave enough to explore after dark have reported strange hammering sounds, shadows twisting and moving, and the sound of a ghostly crowd long forgotten.
You know, that is one thing that has always intrigued me about these ghost case files is the random noises. I was discussing this with somebody the other day. The random noises that occur and there's no reason that they should be occurring. You go and there's no physical movement, nothing has happened, yet you find these sounds coming from what seems to be absolutely nothing.
The infamous gangster Dutch Schultz, a bootlegger during the Prohibition, is believed to have murdered 2 individuals on the 2nd floor. Several have rounded corners to find the ghostly mobster in the act of silencing his final victims, even prompting several to call the police, who show up to find the building completely empty.
Now, that particular case reminds me of the stone tape theory, because we know the gangster didn't get killed in that particular incident.
Number 7, the Old Remington Arms Munitions Factory. The Old Remington Arms Munitions Factory in Bridgeport was originally built in 1867 and later expanded in 1915 into what it is today. After multiple accidents and a fire that killed and injured several employees, the company moved locations, eventually abandoning the old warehouse in 1988. Those brave enough to visit this historic factory have reported phantom voices yelling through the empty building, sounds of the factory still in operation at night, cold spots, and shadowy apparitions that stalk any who cross their paths. Various full-bodied apparitions have also been reported, namely men in old-timey uniforms attending their daily tasks from life. It's rumored that something more sinister may lurk in the darkest parts of the old building, and many claim to feel this presence consistently watching.
And once again, we have this case of noises coming from basically nowhere with no physical objects to make these noises at all.
The Harriet Beecher Stowe House. The Harriet Beecher Stowe House in Hartford was originally built in 1871, with the Stowe family moving in 2 years later in 1873. They lived here for 23 years until their passing, and it's believed their souls remain. Harriet has often been seen in the parlor and is believed to be responsible for shades opening and closing on their own, disembodied footsteps, and what appears to be a ghostly candle floating through the air. Calvin Ellis Stowe, her husband, has also been sighted through the halls and in the bedrooms. He appears as a misty apparition in the shape of a tall man with a beard. Though imposing in size, all who have encountered him claim they felt calm, as if he was welcoming them.
Now, I would like to point that particular part out, that they always felt calm, like a warming spirit, a welcoming spirit, because that is not always the case files that we get here.
Also reported throughout the house are high EMF levels, orbs in photographs, and EVPs of a man's voice believed to be Calvin himself.
I love that not only has it been suggested that there's a case here, but they've actually found EVP information to back up this haunting.
The Guntown Cemetery. The Guntown Cemetery in Naugatuck was established in 1790 and is the final resting place for many supporters of independence from Britain during the Revolutionary War. Those brave enough to visit these foul grounds after dark report a wide range of supernatural happenings, including the ghostly laughter of children, music that fills the cemetery, orbs, strange mists, and apparitions that appear in photographs. A ghostly little boy is commonly seen near the back wall. Not much is known about him, but most report he's seemingly unaware of the living.
It's things like that that make me wonder if ghost sightings aren't actually viewing into some type of other dimension.
The New London Ledge Light. The New London Ledge Light in New London was built in 1909 and is believed to be haunted by a former caretaker named Ernie. Legend says that he jumped from the tower after his wife left him for another man. Hauntings began shortly after his death, with many reporting blankets flying from the beds, loud knocking sounds, and cups floating from the shelves as if invisible hands are holding them. On several occasions, boats have been untied from the dock on their own, leaving the owners stranded. Others have reported TVs turning on and off, the sound of a foghorn going off randomly in the night, and a tall apparition in a raincoat and hat, believed to be Ernie.
At the hotel that I used to work at, we had a TV in the breakfast room that used to change channels if it did not like what was on the TV at the time. The breakfast room that I am absolutely sure was haunted nonetheless.
The Sterling Opera House. The Sterling Opera House in Derby was built in 1889 and housed many notable performances before it closed down in 1945. As local legend goes, this creepy old stage now houses more than performances, with those brave enough to investigate reporting objects moving on their own, strange noises coming from the rows of seats, and shadows that twist and move inexplicably. Some believe these happenings are the ghost of Charles Sterling, the man the opera house was named after. This has been further solidified by many sightings of a man fitting his description, seemingly overlooking the stage and pointing out silent directions to actors unseen. The most famous ghost here has been dubbed Andy, and takes the form of a little boy. He's often seen playing with a soccer ball on the balcony, and has been known to roll his ball from dark corners to unsuspecting guests, startling all nearby.
Wow, now that gives new meaning to Phantom of the Opera, doesn't it? But that's pretty neat to see an opera director still doing his job years after his death, right? Could you imagine a ball come rolling to you out of nowhere? And then it be a ghost ball nonetheless? That would trip me out a little bit, I gotta say.
The Penfield Reef Light. The Penfield Reef Light in Fairfield was built in 1874 off the coast of what is considered to be one of the most dangerous areas of the Long Island Sound. In December of 1916, Frederick Jordan left the lighthouse for the mainland in hopes of joining his family for Christmas. He was lost en route and is believed to have drowned in the stormy waters. After his partner took up the official mantle of Keeper of the Light, he began seeing Jordan's ghost everywhere. In waters on stormy nights, walking the surrounding rocks, and turning the corner of the staircase right before he had the chance to get a good look. His spirit is believed to be responsible for otherworldly happenings to this day, including disembodied footsteps, the light mysteriously flashing when turned off, and the sounds of voices coming from the stairwell when it's empty. On one occasion, 2 boys whose boat capsized swore over and over again that they were saved and pulled from the water by the crusty old lightkeeper before watching him vanish into the surrounding storm.
And something tells me we're going to see a whole lot more ghost stories when we get to these coastal states than opposed to the innerland states that probably have more cryptid and UFO stories. It's interesting the trend we're starting to find across this series, huh? But what do you guys think? Do you think Connecticut is a state of mystery from the cryptids to the ghosts and all in between? Or do you think we could be just barking up the wrong tree? In the end, ladies and gentlemen, all you can do is look at the evidence, apply a little common sense, and you be the judge. We got to close it out. That's right, that's it for this episode of the Darkwolfs Den Show for Wednesday, August 11th, 2021. So whether you're on the edge of reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. Ladies and gentlemen, the den may be closing, but don't you worry, the weekend fun has only just begun. That's right, make sure you come back tomorrow, Thursday, August 12th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, for an all-new episode of the Darkwolfs Den Show. We're going to be talking about an incredible journey that I took from Idaho all the way across the country to the beautiful state, my home state, of Tennessee. That's right, we got ourselves a brand new den and we're back up and flowing. I'm going to tell you all about that amazing and incredible journey tomorrow on the Darkwolfs Den Show. Then on Friday, August 13th, Friday the 13th, ladies and gentlemen, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, our buddy AJ the Rippin' Rabbit comes back to the airwaves with a Rippin' Rabbit Hole live show. That's right, on Friday he's going to be talking about the Flying Spaghetti Monster. That's right, are you looking for a new religion? If so, this might be one you should check out. A religion that is quite young and new in comparison to all the other religions. One that has some interesting mandates, and you guys might be interested in that. If so, make sure you tune in Friday, August 13th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, for the Rippin' Rabbit Hole live show starring our network partner, AJ the Rippin' Rabbit. That's right. Then on Saturday, August 14th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, he'll be back with an all-new episode about contradiction. That's right, contradictions. There's a lot of that going around nowadays, don't you think? All you have to do is look at any government mandates and you'll see a lot of the contradictions in place. You guys know what I'm talking about. AJ will be discussing different contradictions on Saturday, August 14th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, on the Ripin' Rabbit Hole live show right here on Ripin' Common Sense Radio Network, the Ripin' Rabbit Hole. Then on Sunday, make sure you tune in as AJ the Ripin' Rabbit rounds out the weekend right with the last episode of the weekend for the Ripin' Rabbit Hole live show. That's right, he's going to be talking about misdirection. As a magician, of course, he has mastered the art of misdirection, and there's a lot of that going on once again in today's society. And if you know the tricks to look for, you might be able to spot the misdirection being used. I'm sure he'll be giving tips on that and much, much more on Sunday, August 15th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, right here on Ripin' Common Sense Radio, the Ripin' Rabbit Hole. Speaking of the Ripin' Rabbit Hole, make sure you go on over to the RipinRabbitHole.com. That is RIPONRABBITHOLE.com. That's right. Over there, you're going to find a ton of fun. Like the Down the Rabbit Hole, that is our exclusive social media section over there. If you have any information you'd like to share with the rabbits, make sure you come on over and post it down the rabbit hole and let us all share the information together. That's right. And while you're over there, make sure you also check out the 24/7 Backstage Lounge. Turns out since I've been gone, the first of the month has come and gone. We have some new winners. That's right. The Tuesday night video champion was Miss Sandy B, 2-time champion. She lost the belt to none other than yours truly, Jerry the Dark Wolf. That's right, I do hold the championship belt now for the Tuesday night videos. Also, there was the Beat Eugene show, guys. Go ahead and check that out also, with Sandy B, Earth Daughter, and Eric the Fred, I think he went by. They all three beat Eugene on Sunday. For the full rundown of that show, make sure you go on over to the RipinRabbitHole.com where we have that information posted. Once again, that is RIPONRABBITHOLE.com. That's right. As for me, ladies and gentlemen, I am so glad to be back on the airwaves. It is an absolute honor and pleasure to see you guys once again, and I look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow night. So on behalf of AJ the Ripin' Rabbit, Chick Mandela Effect, Michael Musco, Walt House, our buddy Tom Bayless in Red Shed Studios. Get down with it, Tom. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a custom soundtrack for your next project, make sure you choose Red Shed Studios. Information in the description box below. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all these folks, as well as our amazing mod team, my name is Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf. And remember, until next time, stay awake, but dare to dream. That's right. Good night, everybody. How? Yeah, that's right.
Unlocked and into the dark. Some things are better left unknown. And I'll never find you here, 'cause no one's ever What a widow, a crystal spider. When the glass is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. Oh, what a sinner, is it in her? What's the truth in this riddle? Is love really just this simple? I can't seem to find my way in this world that never stays. What a widow, a peaceful spider. When the glass is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. What a sinner, is it in her? Is this real? Just illusion? I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. Is this real or just illusion? Manifestation or a dark delusion? Is this real or just illusion? I'm lost in a wonderland of confusion.